Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. For those of you who may not know who I am, my name is Max and this is my channel called Airsoft King. Basically, just a summary of what I do is I just upload airsoft content across all aspects of airsoft. So basically what you'll see here is reviews, shooting demos, and just anything airsoft related. So if you are new, definitely welcome. Have a look at the rest of the content that I have posted on my channel. For everyone else, welcome. Today we're going to be just kind of talking about WeTech today, actually. So with WeTech, basically it's one of those brands where everybody has owned a WeTech pistol, rifle, whatever, any type of WeTech accessory. So mainly the thing behind WeTech, which a lot of people kind of get a little nervous of working with this brand, is the quality of the materials. The reason why I'm making today's video about WeTech is their popular lineup of the G Series pistols. So I just wanted to share with you guys my experience with my very first WeTech pistol, which is the G17. I just wanted to really talk to you guys a little bit about just my history with the gun. This is one of the pistols that I've had for over 4 years now. And I mean, a lot of you guys have told me your lifespans of WeTech, and it's just very, very small, very poor experiences from what a lot of you guys have told me. On the other hand, some have told me very good things they've had there. Pistols or rifles last, forever with very minimal damage and, small stuff. But I wanted to share my story with my experience. So with this WeTech pistol, which I'll kind of talk into what the original form of this used to be. I first purchased my G17, this one right here. Had to be probably, I would say, November of 2013. So well over 4 years, or right, we're getting near that mark. But it, with the amount of time that's gone by for a WeTech pistol to be alive, with how much I've used it, is very intense. Because myself, I was like most of you, where I was very hesitant with bothering with WeTech, with purchasing anything of WeTech, because I heard, what you also may have heard, they're bad. The material's bad, the metal is poor quality, the mechanism's poor quality, it just goes on. I heard it all, and that made me really just irked about the whole brand itself. Then I'm kind of, I was working with, with the airsoft retailer known as Airsplat. Not really working with them, but they were like my main person I went to for any airsoft related items. So they had some sales going on, some insane Black Friday or something where it's 35% off, plus some other codes and everything. So I'm like, you know what, why not? I'm not going to really lose anything in the end here. It's only going to cost, I think in the end, cost me like $60 with the shipping, and I think I even got that for free. I don't recall, this was a while ago. But I'm like, okay, I can't really lose here. If it breaks, it breaks. I mean, whatever. I didn't really care. I really wanted to get my hands on my very first Glock replica. That was actually my very first Glock replica that I purchased from Airsplat back when they still carried the WE Series pistols. But, I bought it, pretty much waiting, anticipating the delivery. I was just watching a bunch of review videos, a bunch of shooting demos of the G17, and it was kind of mixed. It was awesome, it was poor, everything in between. So I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna expect. Here goes, So I got it right away. It was awesome. I loved it right away. I mean, I didn't care what material it was made out of, whatever. None of that. I didn't really care. I was like, oh my goodness, this thing is amazing. It looks great. Maybe it was just me being very eager and excited to get one of these. I don't know what it was, but didn't think about performance, material, quality, none of that. I got it. Of course, I took the orange tip off because, I mean, it'll look much better without it. Again, use it for collector's purpose, so no reason for it to really go outside. But, I mean, I'm not going to really go into a life story here, but throughout that 4-year span, since the day I got the G17, I mean, It probably took me about 2 years before I really started modding it. So with the stock internals, they lasted me that whole 2 years with pretty aggressive, pretty ongoing use of my G17. I mean, the main concern with a lot of people that had was the outer barrel, which would end up cracking right at the tip here. Again, just due to that material, just that quality control wasn't there for a lot of people. They got the lemon or whatever, who knows. Um, I didn't experience that. I was very fortunate, I guess, because I used it so much. I definitely noticed that there was a lot of wear. You'll definitely notice that it'll start wearing it down, grinding, as the slide just, cycles back and forth, does its thing. It's going to wear down the metal. It's very cheap quality metal, so it's not really expected to withstand intense, temperatures with rapid cycling and, just going back and forth, back and forth. I mean, in the end, I was impressed. I was happy. I was like, wow, maybe it's just, everybody gets a bad gun here and there, from the manufacturer. Think about it like this. With WeTech, they produce these in Hong Kong by probably the thousands. Not every single one is going to be inspected to its fullest because you got to remember in the end of the day, this is part of China. They're going to be sitting on a conveyor for 20 hours every day inspecting, probably, 10 hours WeTech, 10 hours here, somewhere else, so I mean, it's human nature. Everybody makes mistakes with, releasing a bad one, the lemon, so to speak. So again, that's how, I guess it's on a large scale since a lot of people have these problems. But, that's one thing, with quality control. The other thing is, how the person, functions the pistol, how they take care of it, what kind of ammo they use, and do they keep it out? Do they keep it in a case? Are they aggressive in, running into trees or something, while it's in their holster and they're bumping against stuff really hard? It all comes down to the user at the same time too. So, I've seen some people complain like, oh, it broke on me after a few months. And like, I would see people doing like torture tests, listening to their stories of how, oh, I did this on the airsoft field. I was just, shooting as fast as I could. This thing is really strong. I was rolling around, doing like flops on the ground with the thing, and it wasn't falling out of my holster. Not like just crazy stuff. Like I know airsoft, the games can get intense, but I mean, geez, if you're talking your $100 investment is just chilling on your side and you're just banging into things with it, I mean, that's kind of stupid. Like you got to care for your things. Just kind of rant about that, but because I've played with some people that are just so aggressive with their equipment, they just don't care at all. Like, I mean, granted, situations arise where you kind of need to scuttle really quick, but I mean, not to where you're gonna be like I'm gonna die or something. That kind of just seriousness to where you gotta like really bang up your guns and stuff. But that's another thing. And then a month down the road after aggressive playing, like, oh, my barrel broke. It's like, in the 2 years that I've had the stock parts for this, I've probably fired more than maybe 10,000 BBs. I remember I had a whole jar, of BBs just for this gun. And I basically had different grams of ammunition that I used for each gun. So this one, obviously, I used .2s. I didn't really have a whole lot of pistols back then. I had this one and then another one, I think. But I mainly used this one, and then I had one of my AKs that I fielded more than anything. But, I mean, this thing got its use. I had separate ammo for the AK, separate ammo for this, and, I mean, within the 2-year mark, I mean, I definitely cleared at least several containers of the 5,000 BB jars, just with the Glock, the stock parts. Of course, after each game, I kind of maintain it too, because there was times I actually had the whole thing actually fall into a freaking puddle. The whole thing got submerged. That was fun. I will never forget that. I had to take the whole thing apart. I had to just wipe down everything. I had to re-grease, re-lube everything. But I mean, it's a champ. This is a champ right here. I mean, this thing has still, even though it's modded external parts, the internals are all stock. I mean, I'll field strip this for you and show you guys. It is all stock. But I mean, granted, yeah, mine took a beating, but this was over a 2-year span of just a lot of shooting, and it still works. Honestly, I didn't buy any other internal upgrades for this. I only bought the cosmetic pieces of it because I wanted the full trademarks. But everything is internal. Everything that makes this thing function and shoot and load the BBs, that's all OEM still. But you know, definitely took into consideration just caring for for this, because again, I love my Glocks. I love my pistols. Why am I going to spend money if I don't give a shit about them, you know? But, you know, if you care for something, you'll take care of it, right? But I will show you guys just, you know, you can tell it's full trademarks. So, again, that's custom, 100%. When I first had my, my Wii 17, it was actually like this. It was tan lower frame, and then just a regular cheapy metal slide or aluminum slide or some kind of pot metal slide. I still have all those parts actually. I hold on to those parts because you never know when they're going to come in handy. I actually have enough parts that I can probably build a homemade like airsoft Glock. Just need a couple pieces, so that's definitely something I'll plan on doing. But anyway, so the only thing I changed was the lower frame, the slide, and the outer barrel, because the outer barrel came with the slide, and you need those two to really function together. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could run the stock outer barrel, but I think it would be a fitment issue at that point. It wouldn't really function. And then the other thing is just the recoil spring. That's the only thing I changed for fun. There was nothing wrong with the OEM one. I just wanted to do the garter one. So I will just take this apart for you guys real quick and show you. I mean, right there you can see how banged up the internals are. Just the wear and tear, you know, granted I had to sand a little bit, but I mean a lot of the wear and tear from the top was definitely already there when I started modifying this. So let me try to focus this as best as I can here. Okay, nope, it got really bright. Okay, anyway, I mean it's not a lot to really show here, but I mean this is a stock hammer housing. The only thing you'll see that there is a crack here. I mean, that was actually on accident. I actually did that by mistake because I think whatever I did when I was racking the slide really hard, this was back when I was modding this. I probably shouldn't have modded this because I ended up doing more harm than good, honestly. That piece ended up cracking a little. So this hammer housing, it sits a little crooked. So you can kind of tell, the OCD people will probably notice that right away, but it is cracked there. The other thing is too, which again, my fault, this little spring here, this tiny little one right here, I'll move it right there. I actually broke that a little bit too. That spring actually got pulled out too far, so I had to cut it. So now it's basically wound up super tight, and the trigger, it's a little, I don't know, it's not sturdy at all. The trigger pull is like, I don't even know. It's like not even pounds. It's not even anything. It's like a hair trigger at that point. It's very light. Again, my fault. Like this thing, the parts are just perfect. And in here, we have the OEM hop-up housing. The bucking inside is all stock. The nozzle, all stock. The internal parts in the nozzle is all stock. All those springs, everything. The housing for the nozzle, stock. But I mean, everything works perfectly fine. I really didn't do anything else because I kind of want to just see how long it takes before this thing just gets, you know, just goes in the dirt. But I'm not gonna let it happen because I have all the parts I need to fix it. If the nozzle breaks, I got replacements. The barrel, done deal, no problem. Magazine, of course, it's pretty. I mean, I actually covered a lot of the scratch marks and everything with like a Sharpie just to kind of keep it looking nice. But this thing, I mean, it was like bare metal all around. But yeah, I mean, that's really my story. I really wanted to share that with you guys because I know I've had a lot of people kind of, you know, just telling me, hey, is the Wii worth it? Because I hear it's crap. You know, what's your opinion? My opinion right there, honestly, you know, in the end, just to sum this up, when you buy something, take care of it. especially something that has moving parts like a pistol, you know, lubrication. Watch how you play in the field. Don't let anybody borrow your guns. That's the other thing. That's another thing I never did. A lot of my other friends always did, and they always had problems. I never let anybody borrow my guns because you don't know other people. They might get, you know, adrenaline mode, and then they just start going crazy and, you know, jerking this thing around too hard, dropping it, whatever, you know. Another thing. Don't let anybody borrow your guns during games. Keep it to where, you know, it's either in a case or like I have a wall, you can display it somewhere where it's not being thrown around your bedroom, you know, your dog's biting on it, whatever, you know, anything. Same with leaving it outside. Don't leave it outside unless you want the whole thing to be rusted shut. I can go on with stories all day. I've seen it all with just, you know, and the sad thing is it's like high-end, you know, guns. They're not crap guns, but people just mistreat them. I don't know why. I don't know. That's just me. But anyway, just wrapping this up, guys. That was my story of my experience with WeTech, with the WeG17. Just because of my experience with them, I'm going to count. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm counting, this is 7. I have 7 WeTech, I don't know why I keep saying that. WeTech branded guns, pistols / rifles. And believe me, there's a couple more that I'm interested in. And I mean, to me, the brand is just, I love it because it's so easy to work with. It's so easy to fix. I don't know, I'm a handyman, I can figure it out. But honestly, yeah, that's going to be it for you guys. For those, again, tuning in for the first time, welcome. Definitely go take a look at my channel. If you definitely like this video, if you could comment, like it, share it with your friends. You know, tell them Airsoft King has got the best content, you know, whatever. I'm not saying to do that, actually, but, you know, if you could like, subscribe to the content if you like it. For everyone else, thank you again for watching. Have a good one.